Hi, I'm QDC. What we're about to build today is Hobby Boss's Leopard 2 Leopard 2 A5 DK tank. And this is in 1/35th scale. The reason why I bought this particular kit is because of the Ukraine war. At the time of recording, Ukraine has received a shipment of Leopard 2 tanks, and also at the time of recording, there's about to be a battle, a huge battle sometime soon. And probably by the time you actually watch this video, the battle has already begun. But I was just so inspired by the Ukraine war that I just simply had to build the Leopard 2 tank. So the history of the Leopard 2 tank is actually rather unique. In order for you to understand about the history of Leopard 2, you're going to have to understand the history of Leopard 1. So when the Second World War was over, and when Germany was allowed to rearm itself, Germany has built the Leopard 1. And during the 1960s, the Leopard 1 was in full production. Now, one of the more unusual and unique things about Germany was that when Leopard 1 was actually was in full production back in the 1960s, Germany has already begun thinking about its replacement, the next generation. Now, it might seem kind of odd to you why they would do something like that, but from Germany's point of view, which is a very logical point of view, they figured that it'll take about 10 years of research and development and a lot of money, if they were lucky, to make the next generation of tanks. So they were thinking way ahead, and that was the most logical thing to do. Now, they didn't do this alone. They knew that doing a lot of research and development and this would also take a lot of money. So they joined forces with the United States, my country. And so they developed what was known as the next generation tank called the MBT-70. And they thought that was going to be the next generational tank that they're going to have with the United States. So both countries poured their research and development and a lot of money to build this particular tank. Eventually, the tank didn't come to fruition. Germany had their ideas about what a tank should be for their country, and the United States had their own ideas about their own tank. And so they were conflicting with each other, and so the whole entire MBT-70 program was scratched. It didn't surface. But the research and development from the MBT-70 tank was used for Germany to build the Leopard 2. And also for the United States, the research and development for the MBT-70 tank was used to build their own tank, the M1 Abrams. So the M1 Abrams and the Leopard 2, they both are related to each other. They both directly have direct lineage to the MBT-70. So it is an interesting story. So let's go ahead and start building this kit right now. Let's take a look inside this box. We have the lower hull, gun barrel, sides for the tank, part of the suspension system, wheels, top part of the fenders, tracks, turret, not quite sure exactly what those are. I can't take it out, but this is the upper hull. Decal, photo etch part, paint guide and the instruction sheet. I want to talk to you about the lack of instructions on the instruction sheet. These two red dots are fillers that I just placed in. What happened was that the instructions had me put these return rows here, but it did not say that I should fill these gaps in. You're supposed to fill them in because this version of Leopard 2 doesn't have return rows in these areas. Okay, so we built the model kit, and now it's time for me to show you what I think about this kit so far. Take a look. This is the completed model kit before painting, and this kit was a little disappointing for me. I wanted this kit to be a high quality model kit because of its name, Hobby Boss, because I heard a lot of good reviews of other model kits that they made. This model kit, because of its engineering and fit and finish issues, it didn't turn out to be that way. A lot of the parts had flashing, which had to be removed before assembly, and also the design of the turret was horrible. Right over here is a gap, a large gap that is not because of me, it's because of the engineering. The parts didn't fit on this didn't fit properly. There's just no way for me to get around it unless I do major surgery, which I wasn't interested in doing. And also, the instruction sheet wasn't that good either. There's holes here, here, and right up in front over here that need to be filled with putty, but the instruction sheet didn't mention about that. So overall, this model kit is decent, but given its name, Hobby Boss, I expected a lot more. It's time for me to paint the model. I just painted the undercoat with various colors. It's now time for me to paint the main colors. Okay, so I just finished painting the model. So you see all these highlights that's on this model. Normally I would do that by dry brushing, but I didn't. What I done was I used my airbrush and I just simply used lighter colors of the main colors and just simply used the airbrush and sprayed the highlights right on there, which looks decent. I'm going to do some dry brushing. I want to talk about making the Ukrainian flag. What I've done was I found an old decal set from a previous kit that I made years ago, and what I've done was I found this decal that had both the yellow and blue color scheme of the Ukrainian flag, and so I just carefully cut that out to make this flag. Okay, so we built the model kit, we painted it, we weathered it, and now it's time for me to show you the entire model kit from the beginning to the end. Take a look. This is the completed model kit after painting and weathering, and it did turn out to look a lot better than I thought it would be after doing the paint job. It's well detailed and it looks really quite convincing. Like I said earlier, this kit is a good kit, but it was just a little bit disappointing because of the reputation I've been hearing from this company, Hobby Boss. And given the name Hobby Boss, I expected the quality of this kit to be a lot better. But don't get me wrong, it's really not a bad kit. I was just really disappointed with the with this particular kit, and I hope that Hobby Boss's other kits that I'm planning to build in the future would be better than the quality of this particular kit. But it's not bad though, honestly. I'm not trying to bash Hobby Loss. That completes this model project. So what you're about to see is a video slideshow of the entire model kit. But before I go, I just want to give my wish that Ukraine will win this war. I'm hoping that all the equipment, including the new NATO tanks that they got, the Leopard 2, would actually tip the balance and tip the balance in Ukraine's favor so they could win the war. So in this video, I'm going to include a song that was going through my head over and over again as I was building this model kit. It's a Cold War song, and this Cold War song talked about really Germany and how people were escaping from the east of Germany to the west. And one of the things they did in Berlin was they would actually try to escape to the west by using the old subway system during the height of the Cold War. So this song talks about that. So for those of you who are old enough to remember this song, it will be a blast from the past. I'm QDC, and thanks for watching. Goodbye now.
Check it out, Joe. Ha. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, na es ist nix dabei, na wenn ich euch erzähl die Geschichte. Nichtsdestotrotz, ich bin es schon gewohnt, im TV-Funk, da läuft es nicht. Tja, sie war jung, das Herz so rein und weiß, und jede Nacht hat ihren Preis. Sie sagt, to the sweet, you got rap to the heat, ich verstehe, sie ist heiß. Sie sagt, babe, you know, I miss my funky friends, mein Jack und Joe und Jill. Mein Funkverständnis, ja, das reicht zur Not, ich überreiß, was sie jetzt will. Ich überleg bei mir, ihr Nasen spricht dafür, wäre das nicht noch Rauch? Die Special Places sind dir wohl bekannt, ich mein, sie fährt ja U-Bahn auch. Dort singen's
Radine dumm,
oh, oh. Schau, schau,
der Kommissar geht um.
oh, oh. Er wird sie anschauen und du weißt warum. Die Lebenslust bringt die um.
Alles klar, Herr Kommissar.
Hey, wanna buy some stuff, man, huh?
Did you ever rap that thing, Jack?
So rap it to the beat. Wir treffen Jill und Joe und dessen Bruder Hip und auch den Rest der coolen Gang. Sie rappen hin, sie rappen her, dazwischen kratzen's abgewend. Dieser Fall ist klar, lieber Herr Kommissar, auch wenn Sie anderer Meinung sind. Den Schnee, auf dem wir alle talwärts fahren, kennt heute jedes Kind. Jetzt das Kinderlied.
Radine dumm,
Oh, oh, oh. Schau, schau,
der Kommissar geht um.
oh, oh, oh. Er hat die Kraft und wir sind gerne und dumm. Und dieser Frust macht uns stumm.
Radine dumm,
Oh, oh. Schau, schau,
der Kommissar geht um.
oh, oh. Wenn er dir anspricht und du weißt warum, sag ihm, dein Leben bringt dich um.
Alles klar, Herr Kommissar. Tja, 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 tja. Tja, 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 tja. Radine dumm,
Oh, oh. Schau, schau,
der Kommissar geht um.
oh, oh. Er hat die Kraft und wir sind gerne und dumm. Und dieser Frust macht uns stumm. Ah, la, 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 la.
Radine dumm,
Oh, oh. Schau, schau,
der Kommissar geht um.
oh, oh. Wenn er dir anspricht und du weißt warum, sag er, dein Leben bringt dich um. La, la la la.